Still off. All right, now we are. We live. I forgot. I used to play this a long time ago, man. This old wooden ship of an online chess, which is probably just all bots. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you guys see this. I just like randomly logged in as a guest. But yeah. Where we at? Where we at? Oh, is it my turn? What's up, Jen? What's up, man? Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for tuning in, man. Hope you feeling good and doing all right. Watch me fuck up horrifically because I've never done this online before. Like, I mean, not like I've never done it like while conducting a full any type of a full conversation. What's up, man? We live. Hey, you know what's crazy is that everybody is talking about what's the dude's name? Cat Williams, right? Oh, I missed the last one. I think it was there. Okay. Everybody's flipping out about the Cat Williams dude. And and the funny part is that mark my word, all of a sudden everybody's gonna become a fucking Cat Williams. Is connoisseur the right word? I don't know if that's the right word to use. But all of a sudden everybody's gonna know everything about Cat Williams. I mean, like at the drop of a hat, kind of thing. And the last time something got this annoying to me was don't want to take that. The last time something got because what I'm trying to sneak and take that knight in the back, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. The last time something got that annoying was when Alan Wake 2 came out. So if anybody plays um PC games, when Alan Wake came out, that was kind of a big deal, mostly because oh yeah, I can do this. Mostly because I think it was a really cheap reason. I haven't played Alan Wake 2, so I really can't talk too much shit about it. But the reason why I was kind of pissed about Alan Wake 2, now all of a sudden everybody knows everything about Alan Wake and everybody's the biggest Alan Wake fan and all this shit, is because uh and honestly I think it's kind of cheap how they did it. They clearly fucking like, in my opinion, it really wasn't shit unless they just made the requirements like something absolutely absurd. And that's what got Alan Wake a shitload of attention in the gaming world. You mean in the PC gaming world, Alan Wake 2 just got like a shitload of attention. I could still save that. He could get me in a fork with the knight, a fork with the rook, but I could okay. Let's see. But yeah, what really pissed me off was all of a sudden everybody knows everything about Alan Wake, and everybody claimed to have played the first one. Now all of a sudden everybody played Control, and everybody like that shit in the gaming world is fucking annoying, man. Like that shit's just completely annoying. Like I remember and I clearly remember when Alan Wake had come out, right? And like seriously, like because I played it and I beat it. I clearly remember beating Alan Wake, the first one that came out on Xbox 360. I think Xbox 360. I think it was. It came out, and like I clearly remember playing it and beating it, and I clearly remember getting stuck in a few areas. And it just gets annoying when all of a sudden everybody wants to like bandwagon shit. What like if it gets popular, like, it just gets so fucking annoying. And hang on, I've never like played because he's gonna go after that pawn because I'm gonna lose that pawn. That's gonna put me in check. Um, yeah, all of a sudden this bandwagon thing of yeah, I played all the way. It was so oh my god, it was like so awesome, dude. And like motherfucker, you did not like. I'll be all right. You did not like Alan Wake. Like, just stop it. Like you, like motherfuckers did not like Alan Wake. Alan Wake was not like Alan Wake was literally fucking like you know those games that would cut that come out and they're always kind of people know about them, they're good, but like I mean even if it's sold a lot, like let's take for example a game like Bayonetta, right? Or anything Platinum Games make. Alan Wake was like Platinum Games. Like it was good. Some people you're going to get a cult following no matter what you do, and it was good. But it wasn't this whole thing of like oh my god, it's just so fucking awesome. And now every like in the gaming world of PC, everybody's like sucking Alan Wake's cock right now, and it's fucking annoying, man. It really is. Like, everybody's sucking Alan Wake's dick, and just like it's gonna happen with Cat Williams, everybody's gonna be on Cat Williams nuts. Everybody knows everything about Cat Williams now. You know what I mean? That they digging up old videos of him or what he was saying, years ago and shit like that. Like it's just gonna get fucking annoying. Like, let me see. He's gonna try to go there. Yeah. Here's the thing. I really enjoyed Control. I really did. I really, 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 really enjoyed Control. What I did not enjoy. Hang on. He's gonna go there. Okay, so Castle. So what I did not enjoy was that whole like I don't know the I did not enjoy the sense of like even though it might have been like a mechanic, but I just didn't like it. The whole idea of like you just never really know what the fuck's going on type of shit. Like after like that's okay for a while, but after a while, it's just I just find it annoying. Like it's just not cute. You know what I mean like I just really really find it annoying. Oh fuck, I fucked up. Can I save that? I can't save that. I lost a pawn. Sitting up here talking. I think it's gonna be tied now. And this is just like some like low end online matches. Yeah, I lost that motherfucker. So let's do this. Let's go right there. What Cat Williams? Oh, he like fucking like went off on. No, that's still shitty. He went off on a bunch of motherfuckers in the comedy world, like Steve Harvey, motherfuckers like that. He just went. He just started like talking about everybody type of shit, and now it's like all over social media right now. Yeah, because here's the thing. Like I started watching Shannon Sharp's little live. He started this live stream channel because one of his okay. I stumbled onto it when he was talking to Chad Ochocinco from the Bengals, saying how Chad Ochocinco was going on about how he was very very frugal kind of thing, and he didn't spend a lot of money, and that's how I kind of stumbled on to Shannon Sharp's channel. So like that was the first thing I seen was him talking to Cat Williams, and it ended up like blowing the fuck up. Like it just blew up. Like it took like 2 or 3 days, and that interview just fucking took off. No, you don't. Trying to trap my knight. You're not gonna do that. But you might try to get the other knight. And this is like I said, this is like a low end online game. So this is not like showing like I'm like super skillful or anything. This is just like a more casual online chess game. Heard he did some. What is this? No, I'm trapped. Let's see. No. Let's block the knight. Sure, my audio's up. Playing chess or running live takes a lot of skill. Oh, wait, well, hey, to be clear, Nick, this is not like a heavy duty online match. It's just like just a more regular. I really don't want to do that because if I move the king over to the top left, and that's gonna leave that pawn. I just don't like how that situation is gonna look. But the knight, if I go here, go here. I can possibly move this motherfucker. Actually, no, don't do that. Do that. Yeah, I'm pretty stuck right now. I love how Ocho said he lived at the stadium as a rookie. Yeah. I wanted like that was when I started watching Shannon Sharp's live stream because he said like they just let him go from being a commentator. He had to work because I mean if you watch football, you knew Shannon Sharp was doing that commentating shit, and then they just let him go like kind of randomly, and so he started his own live stream. Not live stream. He started his own like podcast type of thing, and he always had a six figure view count. It was always pretty, and I had no idea Shannon Sharp was like that good like on his own kind of thing. So I think he has a great channel. I think he does a great job. Oh shit. Okay, he moved the knight, so he's probably gonna try to go here to trigger me to lose my knight. Let's see. I'm still blocked. Fuck. Wait. No. This is rough. I'm in a fucked up position. I am. So I'm gonna try to just. So sometimes when you play chess, sometimes you just don't have shit. Like your best option is just to do like. See, this is a bait move. So he put the knight there in hopes that I take his knight. That way it leaves my rook at the bottom open to be taken. And I should go ahead and like make it look like I fell for it. Just see, so here's the thing: when you play chess, it's like dealing with people. Like see this red knight at the top. He set that up as a bait move because if I take the knight at the bottom of the screen, is will leave my rook undefended and be taken. Now technically, it's not a too bad of a move. I mean, you can still work with that, but for some reason I'm just kind of so if I were to pretend I fell for it, that would be more of like just kind of playing with his self-esteem kind of thing to see if I got it or if I'm just like slacking kind of thing. It would be a good like a good I don't know how to say like pretend I fell for the bait to make it seem like I'm not paying attention kind of thing. Now I would do it normally. Now I wouldn't say normally. There's been times where I will go ahead and do it just to make them think I'm dumb as fuck. Kind of, you know what I mean? Just to keep my boat rolling. But it's because if I move up, I'm gonna end up getting trapped up there with the king. Yeah, I'm just in a rough position. Are you continuing a data apps conversation speed in which I hear online dating is better outside the US? Just curious if that's true. So I haven't done so to answer that question, Mario, I haven't done I knew he was gonna do that shit. I called that he was gonna get me to because now I could pretty much well no. I could let him take that. Because then I have double protection over the pawn. Yeah, I'm gonna let him take that knight if he wants it. As far as I know, okay. I logged into Tinder like not too long ago just to see, and I still had matches on there. Um, but I have heard that people have had issues. So what you'll probably move the rook over and hope I don't pay attention to get me in a pin with the knight and the king. He might move the rook over two spaces to the left and hope I'm not paying attention, and to try to put me in check to pin the king and the knight. He might pull that. I don't know. Yep, that's what I called. Yep. So he did exactly what I thought. So he moved. So that whole the point of him doing that or her doing that is to hope I'm not paying attention. And if I make any other move, they'll move that pawn down and force me in a check where I'll lose a knight. And I should do it just for science. I should just show you guys just for science what that plan was. But I'm gonna stop it by doing this because all he has the only so okay. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this because now he's gonna try to. Okay, so now what he's gonna try to do is he can't put me in check because if he puts me in check with the rook, I can take with the knight. And I wish I could show you, but I don't know how to show people in this app. So so the next move he's gonna probably try to. Well, he can't do anything over there actually. If he comes down any one of these spots, he's gonna lose the rook. So the only thing that he can't even stop there to try to take that other pawn. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just because all he has left, if okay, so here's the thing. Since all he has left is a bishop and all I have left is a knight. Now, depending on how you play, anything can happen. But since all he has is a bishop left, he's stuck to only taking over black squares or like the dark squares. But and the only oh shit, I lost time. I ran out of time talking too much. But yeah, I was trying to explain what I would do or like the theory of what I was doing. But yeah. So back to Mario. So yeah, I always kind of had matches, but I think here's the thing. I think with online dating over here, you kind of have to be here for at least a little while. Um, because everybody who I've known who's come over, lately speaking, they tend to kind of had trouble with online dating. And again, I had trouble with online dating for the first maybe 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks I was here. I think I had trouble with it. Everybody else I came with, they immediately had matches, and I had none. So I thought I was just fucked up. But then when I started getting matches, like as I was here, so maybe I just fell to the bottom of the bottom of the barrel kind of thing. Um, but But yeah, but here's the thing: in Prague, you really don't need to do online dating in a place like Prague, man. Like, it's a city, so like I mean, you can like I said, like I really it's cold as fuck outside right now. It's 19 degrees Fahrenheit outside now, so I'm definitely not going outside now. But you could theoretically go, like I could just go to any bar like somewhere in the center now and just start meeting people and talking to them somewhere, right? Like it's totally doable. Like it's not like the U.S. where like you have to drive everywhere and every beer costs fucking $9 or some crazy shit, like. And that's one thing I take for granted for being at least in Prague is like the social life is great. Social life, you got to get through that whole check mentality of like we only fuck with people we love kind of thing. Once you work your way through that, oh, the social mentality is absolutely amazing. There's no comparison between the U.S. and the U.S. and Czech Republic. You just can't even compare it. Can't compare it. It's better than Kiev too. When I was in Kiev, and I think that a lot of that's because just the language situation. Because over there, like they not trying to speak English at all. You got to speak Russian or Ukrainian, and that's it. They not really fucking with too many other languages, cold off the street like that. It's like being in America. They want their language, and that's it. They ain't get ready. They not entertaining anything Italian, French, none of that shit. They want Russian out there. Used to watch. Yeah. Yeah, I did used to. I remember my cousin. Well, my cousin's wife. So technically, we're cousins now. She used to have the Cat Williams dude on stand ups, right? And it was like because he always when he does stand ups, he's always kind of like pacing the stage, kind of shit, and like talking like this, and he's like almost like a preacher kind of thing. But he was, and I'll be honest, he was the first stand up comedian outside of Dave Chappelle, I remember that I had ever genuinely laughed at. Like his energy and everything was just amazing. He was the first one that see. So what he just see this is a rookie start out. So real quick, the way they started out with the bishop and the queen, they were trying to get checkmate in two moves kind of thing. And I hate playing people like this if it's even real. Yo, what's up? Thanks for the donation, man. AD, can you give us a clinical psychologist? I'm not a clinical psychologist, just to be clear. But let me read. A clinical psychologist insight. Why does male porn stars have depressed and suicidal tendencies? Okay, if I had to guess why that would happen, I almost fucked up. I almost gave him checkmate. Because okay, the person I'm playing now did this cheap fucking queen bishop, and if not, they were gonna. It's just I just hate when people play like this. But anyway, if I had to guess as to why that tends to happen, is because I've stated before a while back how the the only thing worse than not getting what you want is getting what you want, or getting what you think you want. Let me correct that. The only thing worse than not getting what you want is getting whatever you think you want, right? Um, so by the time you get to the point where you get shit that is usually only reserved for, like a very few percentage of men, kind of thing, and you have already access to it, no matter what it was, kind of thing. Like, there's a certain depression that's going to creep in, and anybody who's ever done anything with their life, either intentionally or unintentionally, anybody who's ever made that hump and done anything with their life, right? Like, they would have to admit it. They have to admit. I'm gonna go ahead and give a bad position with my pawn, just for science. I'm gonna do this if they take the bishop, but it's gonna put me in a bad position with a pawn almost at e6. Okay, so I'll take it. So yeah, so if anybody's ever done anything with their life, either intentionally or unintentionally, that person must admit that there is depression that comes along in there in some kind of way, because now it's this whole thing of well, what do I exactly do next, kind of thing, right? It's that whole theory. See, so what? Okay, so what this person just tried to do is that they hope I castle to the left, so they can sweep in with this. You can't see my mouse, but there's a bishop right under the counter on my side that's going down. He can, like, position the queen to sweep in with the bishop and leave me in a real shitty protective situation. That's what the person's trying to do now, and I'm not gonna let that happen. So actually, let's do. Yeah, this is what they're trying to do. Okay. So now it's going to come down there, there. So just to move the queen out of there, just to stop him from getting too comfortable sitting there. But yeah, anybody who's ever grown into doing anything with their life has to admit that there's maintenance that must be done, right? There's a lot of maintenance in life that just must be done. Oh shit, no, I'm good. The bishop's right there. I almost lost my knight, but I forgot I put the bishop there. Maintenance, like, just because you get what you want does not mean that's the end, right? Just because you get what you want or what you think you want, that's just the beginning, right? And the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to handle that, right? So I will use a porn star, and I will use a male porn star in the same situation as, let's say, Charlie Sheen, right? I will put that in the same position of Charlie Sheen, right? Charlie Sheen is another man who just, went absolutely bonkers in life, right? This is a man. Let's say, this is a man who made it to be in the top of the top of the top of the top percents of their field of what they were trying to do. So probably bring the pawn down and make me take a pawn to try to pin my queen against my king. Um, Charlie Sheen went out there and did pretty much the impossible with that. You know what I mean? At the position of life he was in, and he just got bored. Like, he got bored. He had access to all the women that 99% of men on Earth will never, he couldn't even dream of hooking up with. He fucked hookers that cost. You know, to come down with the pawn. We try to take the knight. Do I move? Hang on. Do I have a better move? Because he's going to come down. We'll see with my knight. You can see where I light the pieces up. This knight, he's going to come down with the pawn to make me move the knight. I'm trying to think what's going to be the best move after that to do. Because I'm going to castle right here. But I'm trying to think. So I think moving to what that was, that f6, and then what's that, d 7 would probably be the best. I don't know. Let's just do it. Fuck it. And Charlie Sheen end up just fucking a bunch of gay dudes, a bunch of trannies, right? Actually, that was not the best move because I had a pawn I could have taken the whole time at G4, right next to the knight. I'm sitting up here talking and fucked it up. Maybe I could still take it. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I should still be able to. Yeah, I still got that pawn because he can't protect that without losing a knight anyway. So I still got that pawn. So it looked like I probably did it on purpose, but I was on accident. So I'm here. So I got the queen that's on my queen on. Yeah, see right here. Now, okay, now do I? Now here's the thing: do I really want to take that pawn? So here's the thing: when you play chess, right? Like chess is not like checkers. Checkers is a game where it's just all about you taking as many pieces as you want. In chess, sometimes you want to keep their pieces on the field. That way, you can hide behind their pieces and use them to your advantage. So here's the thing: if I were to take that pawn, it was at h4. If I were to take that pawn, that would now open a lane up for a rook to come in there by bringing another knight down and forcing me to take it at some point. So I'm going to skip on. Actually, I'm going to skip on taking that pawn, and I'm going to use that pawn to my advantage to at least be able to hide behind. Wait. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not going to take the pawn quite yet. I'm just going to make a move just so I don't run out of time. But now if he moves a knight back, if he moves that knight next to his queen back, what's that, the h1? Okay, no, okay. So yeah, that was actually a bad move, in my opinion, for him to do that. Because I don't like that move. I wouldn't have done that. This shit this shit is this shit is chess, it ain't checkers. Yeah. But yeah, no, checkers is all about just taking more pieces, right? If you could just take more pieces, then you just then you mean that's the game, right? You just win. But checkers it's all about capturing the king. So if you only got 2 pieces left and they have, 8 pieces left, if you get a checkmate, then you win. It's not about how many pieces you take. So I got to take right here. So this is a good take right here, I think, at least. Because now it sets me up to take 2 pawns because he can't protect the other one. I thought I might have something creative, but I don't. I don't. No, I might. No, I don't have anything creative quite yet. Wait. Okay, I might have something right here. I'm not gonna take the pawn quite yet. I may have something. If I get him to focus on taking this pawn, I may have something. Oh, he didn't take the pawn. Okay. But he does have me in a pretty good position, though. I didn't expect him to just keep going forward, honestly. I really didn't. So it's like, now how do I play with his head to not see it coming? Because now what I could do is I could put him in. Well, let's see what he does next. Because yeah, he caught on to it. Okay. So I can put him in check here, and he's probably going to go forward with it. But I can take the pawn in retaliation, but then I'll lose a pawn. And I have no way to ease in. Yeah, no, now I can't even take the pawn because he moved. I thought he would go forward. Okay, let's take. Well, no, let's do this. Or he'll probably move. No, well, no, moving the queen up won't do anything either because he'll still lose because he doesn't. He won't lose the queen first and then the rook. Have you seen X-Men: The Last Stand when Magneto says in chess the pawns go first? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I just watched that scene where he pulls the iron out the guy's blood. He said you should never trust a beautiful woman, especially if she's interested in you, which there's no realer shit. Like you can use that logic anywhere on the planet. Like never trust a beautiful woman, especially if she's interested in you. Never trust a beautiful woman, dude, especially if she's interested in you. It's not okay. It's his turn, so he might let it go. He might feel too pressured. Just said fuck it. Yeah, I think he's gonna quit. Oh no. Hmm. I might be in trouble. I might be in trouble. If I was sitting here playing by myself, I'd probably be like completely fine. But yeah, because if I'm yeah, let's do this. No, no. Let's do. No. I gotta move up because he can take. Yeah, I'm. Because he's gonna take the pawn if I don't move up. So yeah, let's do this. Move up. Yeah, I read the whole happiness people are the ones who are creatively discontent. You have to be willing to try and learn new things instead of thinking that one thing will make you happy. Yeah, and I agree 1,000% with that. Yeah, you have to invent yourself and reinvent yourself. Just like becoming stalled out just because you're just getting a lot of pussy or something like that. That's a really no. Actually, I could have went down. Let's see, hang on, let me see. Cause yeah, let's do that. And I'm gonna have to move the rook over to protect that. Oh no, wait, yeah, he got that, and he's gonna get the knight too. Fuck. Yeah, fuck. No, he's not gonna get the knight because it's protected by the queen. But this can get real bad real quick. This can get really bad really fast. So when he takes that, yeah, now move here. Wait, what do I got? Yeah, because he's gonna come down to try to get checkmate with the queen. But I just because he would have had checkmate with that if I hadn't moved the queen down, and that would have been real bad too. Of course, because you don't want to checkmate a motherfucker. You don't want to get in checkmate. And at a good now this would have been a bad move in the early game because the reason why this with where I put the king behind the queen, that would have been a bad move because they could have potentially pinned me with a bishop, but since he has no bishops left, he can't pin me. So I can do that now, but in an early game that would have been like a huge no to do that, especially while keeping track of what's on there. Yo, thanks, Snipe Feather. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to figure out. So if I move the rook over to attack the queen, he's gonna go. He's gonna either retreat or force me to take the queen in check. But I'm in a bad position because now he has a pawn that can come up and potentially get another queen. But he might move the rook. Yeah, he retreated. Okay, yeah. So God, I'm in a bad spot. I may have checkmate. I may have mate if he doesn't pay attention. But this move is gonna be so wild, he's gonna see it coming. He's gonna see this coming because this move is gonna be just way too like. I'm gonna cause too much attention by moving the queen, and he's gonna say, "Oh, why did he move that queen all the way up there that fast?" Kind of thing. I moved it too fast. Maybe he might get focused on me trying to take the pawn and think, "Oh, it's just a pawn. I won't let him." But if he doesn't do anything to protect the king, then I have checkmate right here, depending on what his next move is. So he's probably gonna move the queen back to the top line. Okay, yep, checkmate, got him. Wait, make sure. So I'm not talking shit too early. Yeah, that's checkmate. So the only so here, unless I'm not talking shit too early, when I move that queen back to that number one line, either one of those squares, it doesn't matter. When I move it back, the only thing he can do to protect it is to move the queen back, but he can't move the queen back in protection, so that's checkmate. He can't. As long as it should be checkmate. Because he's pinned in with my knight. Yep, he quit. Got him. He quit. That was mate. He couldn't. There was nothing he could do. I had him pinned in, so you can't see it now because it's blurred out. But yeah, I had him. You can't see it, but I blurred. I pinned him with. I pinned him behind. So okay. So back to the example I gave earlier. You can't see it now, but sometimes you don't want to take all the pieces you can because you can use their own piece to their advantage. So the reason why you can't see it now, but I'll just try to explain it. Uh, he was actually blocked but behind his own pawn, so he couldn't move there, and my knight was blocking the two squares to the side of it, right? So he was blocked on that whole line with the king, right? And so I had to either have a queen or a rook to go down there to attack that back line. You can't see it now, so I'm just explaining, essentially imagination at this point. But that was a perfect example of. I wish I could like rewind the game and show you guys, but that was an example of his own piece working against him. So it like if it wasn't for his pawn being there, that wouldn't have been a checkmate. It just would have been a check, and I would have had to keep fighting to figure something out. But yeah. But yeah, he quit because there was nothing he can do to fight it. And we all lose, man. Like I'm not the fucking best. Like I'm so not the best at chess at all. I easily admit that shit. I'm not the worst, but I'm not the best. I will always admit that shit. Let me see. Let me grab my. Let me read. Hang on. Let me read the. Do you still have the plan to buy PS5 because the PS5 Slim Edition is out? I do, man. I got to give it thought to where I'm going to put it or how I'm going to even set it up. Because with this baby, because the baby, he's fucking like throwing. He's at that phase where he just wants to grab everything he can fucking see now. Because I want to play Spider Man. I want to play Spider Man. And I honestly want to play the Justice League game just because of the draw distance, just because it's a neat. I think it's neat to have a draw distance that wild. There's a few games I want to play on PS5 actually. I can't think of the other ones now, and there's other games coming out this year that I want to play. Um, but in the way my flat set up, there's just nowhere I can put it in here where he couldn't grab it or get close to grabbing it, kind of thing. The way everything's set up, because I have a bigger table in there, but I got plants all on that table, and I'm just running out of space, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna try. I started on Spider-Man 2 PS5 and it's pretty cool. I also played Miles Morales and enjoyed it. Word up, yeah, man. Like I heard Spider-Man 2 was, I heard it was great. I heard it was really good. I heard the only complaints I hear about Spider-Man 2 is is that it's too much like Spider-Man 1, which was a great game. Like it was I still remember playing it the first time. It's an amazing game. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love anything. Most games, Spider-Man, I'll find some way to love them kind of thing, but it's a great game. But people are saying it's like the only thing I don't like about what I see of Spider-Man 2 is like I don't like that flying, that kind of like hovering shit. Like he just feels like Infamous kind of thing when I watch. And maybe he doesn't play like it because again, let's use like Returnal for example. I would have never played Returnal. I just randomly gave it a chance and ended up loving it. Like the story was great. I ended up loving Returnal, but when I watched other people play it, didn't like it at all. Didn't like it. something I wanted to cover personally. I'm trying to think what it was I wanted to cover. Can't think. What the fuck was it? I can't think of what I wanted to cover. Chess ruins your life. Why does chess ruin your life? I didn't know it. I did. I never heard that chess ruins your life. But thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Snide Feather and I think RBT. But yeah, oh yeah. So let me answer that more thoroughly since I was in the middle of a chess game. Can you give us clinic? Okay, so why porn, male porn? Yeah, that depression comes from a form of too much success. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The ultimate success is to get a beautiful is to have sex with a beautiful woman, right? In at least in some men, in majority of men's minds, we every to get a sense of social acceptance, right? To get a sense of social acceptance, every man will look up to a man who has sex with beautiful women, right? Now you could say like has a clean job and has nice cars and all that, but the number one thing is a beautiful woman. So let's say for example, let's use like Donald Trump. I'm not saying Donald Trump personally, but let's just use Donald Trump. He has social status and he has money and he has family money, right? Now let's say a Donald Trump type of dude could never get a good looking woman, no, right? Even though he had all that. Everybody would look at him like something super duper wrong with him, right? Now on the flip side, let's say you take like the bummiest looking dude with no money, no nothing, and he can't but he got a beautiful woman. Motherfuckers say, okay, he's doing something right, right? Like when pushed like to the ultimate fucking form of it, right? They'd be like, okay, yeah, he did something right. What the fuck did he do, right? So among men, the ultimate social status is among men, and this is fucked up to say it, but it's true. Like everything else can be kind of pushed to the side. I will say education and women are the two top, but even okay when all that gets pushed aside, right? A man with all the education in the world, but he can't get sex, is going to be more frustrated, mad, and bitter than like a dude who got a beautiful fucking woman and has no money, kind of thing, right? Like the dude with money wishes he was the guy with the bitch, but the guy with the bitch, he doesn't necessarily. I mean, of course, you want the money, but like he doesn't really. He's not like going fucking crazy wishing he was that guy, right? And it's the same thing the other way. It's the same. It's a similar scenario with women, right? With women, a woman having youth and beauty is the number one thing, right? And having money, power, fame, and all that, that's like secondary. So like I use for example, the Queen of England versus like a cute barista bitch, right? That like the Queen of England is jealous over that cute barista bitch, but the cute barista bitch is not jealous over the Queen of England, right? Like, I mean, like, sure, she would like the Queen of England's money and family wealth, and she would like it. But when she sees the Queen of England and what she looks like, she don't go, oof, I'll be all right. And all society would say the same thing, right? Most of society would say the same thing in terms of what makes a woman successful. Just makes you a narcissistic unconsciously. Word up. Yo, thanks for the donation. It's not further. Can you put the PS5 in the wall? You can put the PS5 in the wall because there are Walmart specifically for the PS5 installation. Well, I didn't know that. So now I know I can do that. That's specifically for again because all these walls are concrete, so I have no issue with mounting anything in here. So now I know that I'm gonna have to find a wall mount then because I didn't know you could even do that. So yeah, that works out great because all these walls are solid concrete. There's no like drywall in this flat, and in many flats in Czech Republic. So yeah, that'll work. I see Gan. No, this is not my homepage. This is just like regular. I I hate to disappoint. Where is that? On Nasi, I hate to disappoint, but I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. Is that Lord of the Rings? I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan at all. I just don't get it. I tried to watch it years ago, and I just don't. So I hate to disappoint, but I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. At least that's what I think it is. I tried watching it a long time ago. Just did nothing for me. I fell asleep on it. Did nothing for me. Open this window real fast. But yeah, did absolutely nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me. Read my earlier messages, AD. The God. Let's see. The God. Relationships, relationship, friends, people, everyone talk was based on what was profit of other person, and it caused lots of problems. Oh, let me see. Maybe hang on. I was a chess national champ in high school. Okay, I played chess by analyzing best moves of my opponent and then playing my game. It got reflected in my life and focused on other more than me. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sure you're pretty good at fucking chess then, or at least you can remember if you start playing again. But yeah, the apartment walls here in the U.S. are thin as fuck, especially oh yeah, in the U.S. they're just all in the U.S. Yeah, it's just all drywall shit. I mean, the last flat I looked at that I was going to rent if I had stayed in the U.S. Though now that building was like was definitely more solid, but like yeah, most of the apartments you're gonna find in America are gonna be drywall type shit. It's gonna be like yeah, that you can punch a hole in it or you can knock a hole in it. You got to be careful where you mount shit because if you don't have a wood, so for those of you in Europe, this is probably like a foreign concept to you. But in like in places like the U.S. that have drywall, you have to look for a wooden stud, like a wooden like beam or something like that that you can actually drill into to put whatever you want up. And if you don't have that, then you got to find it where it is, kind of thing. And it's just a pain in the ass to like to mount anything in the U.S. Um, it really is. It's just a pain in the ass to mount anything. Whereas here, like well, you guys can't see, and I've been meaning to post pictures of it, but all my TVs are like mounted. I got two monitors right here, the laptop right here, and a TV above me. And the other room, I just have like this maybe like I don't know, like a 45, 50-inch plasma TV because a buddy of mine was selling it for like $50, and he asked me if I wanted to buy it first before he put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I said sure. Actually, I bought that TV right before I went to Kiev because when I bought it, I left it on the bed the whole time I was in Kiev. It just stayed on that bed over there, and I didn't mount it till my dad came here. Before my son was born. What's up, J1? Maybe read the Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit first. Yeah, a friend of mine, I think he had The Hobbit. It was a big book. A friend of mine, he was real into it, man. He had the books and he loved Lord of the Rings. What I do remember about Lord of the Rings um is that those Lord of the Ring trailers pretty much revolutionized like the world of movie trailers ever since. Because their trailers was just like that complete epic shit, right? You know, the Lord of the Rings trailers from my memory, those were the first ones that like those Harry Potter didn't. I think it was Lord of the Rings that did it. Those first trailers were just like that revolutionized the movie trailer game forever. Like you couldn't go back to what they was like before that time period. With the music that they chose and the scenery just from Lord of the Rings, it was really amazing. But yeah, as far as the Lord of the Rings goes, like with the movies, like I tried, man. Like I really did give it a good try. And I remember I fell asleep and I woke up and they were walking into some tall building from like the sky view looking down was where I woke up on it and I just I mean I like the theory, don't get me wrong. Like I like the theory of Lord of the Rings. With like there's a ring that I think the motherfucker go invisible or some shit like that. It's been so long since I looked into it. Um and then I think the one dude, the main dude, he put the ring on when he shouldn't have put it on, and he was like in a bar or something, and he went invisible or some shit like that. Like I don't know, because I didn't watch it and it didn't interest me, but the theory was good. I think it was just I think I just wasn't into it at the time. I'm not gonna say it was bad because I don't think it was a bad movie. I just wasn't into it. Actually, let's look up. What was that channel I was looking at last week? I need to go back over that. It was something like this. It was some shit like this. And it was a dude. I can't remember. I don't know how to find him. Oh, that's the dude in the one video. So let's just
You are
listen to
still
him.
over.
Let's listen to him. Wait, let me check a couple more comments, and we're gonna talk about him. Master and Commander, Farsight, or Lord of the Rings scale epicness that we had not seen at the time. Yeah. Well, I don't know that Master and Commander, Far Side of the World. I don't know what I've never heard of that at all. But yeah, I remember the Lord of the Rings trailer was just like, yeah, that was just complete next level shit. Would you recommend moving to Czech, Europe from North America if you have a high school degree? I've only ever worked on the oil fields, and I'm 26. Um, so here's the thing: if you were to, I would say yeah, but if you were to move to Europe from North America, there's a good chance you're going to either be an English teacher or you're going to work in a call center because they want that English, right? Because American companies, British companies, all they do is just outsource all their work to like Europe proper. So like one thing that became clear to me pretty early was the difference of where jobs come from. So like in America, like, and I never paid attention to it before, but in America, when you go to work a job, generally speaking, when you go to work a job in North America, it's safe to assume that that job is American, right? Because it's in North America. Well, in a place like Czech Republic, a fair decent amount of these jobs are either foreign or they're funded by foreign motherfuckers, right? So it's never really theirs. So like in my opinion, I think it shifts a lot of their perspectives on the work on on jobs. I think it shifts um their values in work in ways like for example, like let's say like if Microsoft were to open up job positions or Google were to open up job positions, just like in America, people over here would like they would be flooded with applications at by the stroke of midnight, right? But the fact that it's not theirs, right? Like it's that it's not their shit. Like they're literally just like the Mexicans of the IT world kind of thing, right? Like it really kind of like you really see it from like the illegal immigrant Mexicans perspective, like living over here. And I'm not saying like it's a rough life or anything like that over here. I'm not saying Mexico's a rough life. I've never lived in Mexico, but what I'm trying to say is like I can understand. Like I don't say I understand, but like it's weird seeing that perspective of like putting value into like a call center job. Like in America, like we do not put that much value in a call center job. At least when I was growing up, call center jobs were kind of just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a call center job, but we didn't see it as like top flight work. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, you just go there, you got to read a fucking script, type some shit in, that type of thing. But it was never considered like top flight, shit. Whereas out here, it's almost more considered like the more top flight shit because it's usually going to be the richer languages and they're speaking it, which Czech is not really considered a richer language. Czech is more considered, it's not a poor language. It's like it's an in the middle language, right? Um, so with that being said, it really kind of shit like the work for it's a different feel, different vibe. Don't be surprised if you go to work and people are like drinking beer at work because beer is not like stigmatized here like it is in the U.S. Doing shit like that is not stigma. Now people aren't getting drunk, but I remember I only worked a month, and I still remember time like it happened more than once where like some guys they just brought in like a whole case of beer, and you just grab one and start drinking it while you're working, right? Yeah, in America you could be sued for doing that, right? Yo, let me just how to be that excellent asshole and douchebag that women love and desire. Yeah. Have you dated a Muslim girl? Not that I know of. No, not that I'm aware of. I haven't. What do you think about moving to Bali like Russell Simmons? Um, I've never been to Bali, but I'm not a fan of it because too many white bitches are going there, right? And that sounds racist as fuck. Which it is depending on how you take it. I don't trust Bali because it's too many white bitches going there, and white bitches are only going to go to places where Western white bitches are. They're only going to go to places. How should I say this? Okay, When those white bitches showed up in Bali, I guarantee you the price of something went through the roof because white bitches don't feel comfortable unless they spend a lot of money, right? And there's too many white bitches going to Bali to go live and all these types. I mean, like, and it's funny you mention that because I just pulled up a reel on Facebook or Instagram or something a few days ago where it was a black woman talking about she lives in Bali and she's spending this and spending that. And okay, when women start to do shit like that, okay, because it moves down the ladder, right? White women are going to be the first one because again, that's statistically who's going to have all the money to do anything, right? If not them, then their father or their brother or something like that. Like statistically speaking, it's going to go down a list. So by the time like a black woman did it, and she's I didn't even see her. You could just hear her. You could tell she's black, right? By the time she went out there and felt comfortable, she getting overcharged like crazy for something to the point where when they hear that English, they already know, oh yeah, we can charge 4 times the amount for you. Then no, and it's gonna be it. I wouldn't trust it. I've never been there, so I don't know. But just from how I hear about it, I don't trust Bali. It's too many white bitches going out there. I don't know. I don't trust it. Something ain't right. Whenever white bitches go to poor areas for too long, something ain't right. Something historically. See, there's a reason why Zeus would fuck Sharon in Montana because she just had a nice ass. But the bitches on Mount Olympus, they didn't really fuck with mortal men anymore. After women, because they don't do that historically. You won't find many stories of a woman coming from a richer area to happily a true story to happily going and hanging out with some poor motherfuckers and being happy. Something is wrong with her. Like seriously, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Now, Ronnie, yeah, with the Caribbean, yeah. Now there are some white bitches who they just want to fuck black dudes, kind of thing. Like, and once they get older, and they just like when it comes to this population of women, it's like dealing with like with hookers, right? Like when they're younger, they want to keep it secret because they still think they have plenty of time to get like a prince charming somewhere. Like when they're like 19, 20, 21, 22 to like 30, you know, this population of white women like they want to keep it secret that they want to fuck black dudes because these white women know that white men will disregard will kick them out the social circle if it's found out that Susan was fucking DeAndre, right? Like she's gonna get kicked out, so she'll keep it secret for like 10 years. But when white women get older and then now they done got divorced and they got the husband's money, well now they let loose and then they just go to Caribbean, or go to Africa and just start sucking a bunch of black cock, right, all the time because that's what they wanted to do anyway, right? But they didn't want to get kicked out of the richer's, circles. And I think prostitution is the same way with brothels. Like when the girls are young, when the girls are like 18, 19, 20, at least in Europe in a bit more richer area, they try to keep it secret. So they're doing like in call only. They don't want anybody to know. Then once they start hitting 25, 30, 30, 25, 30, and then now they've kind of given up on life. So now they'll just go stand up in a brothel all day. And they don't care who walks in there and sees them now because like they figured they've given up on trying to keep the act up for the rich white men of the world kind of thing. So it's like, oh, fuck it. Just let it loose, girl. Going out there. And that's how it works, in my opinion. A lot of my black female friends always travel to Jamaica or Mexico. Yeah, there is I don't know. I've never been to Jamaica. A friend of mine's dad, he's from there. But I've never been. I don't know anything about it. And then there is a link to that. Honestly, I think the link is it's probably more one of the more cheaper places to travel to in terms of like flight costs. Um, if I had to guess, that's probably what's raising that percentage up for them because okay, there's still a decent amount of white bitches who would never touch Jamaica, right? But if they gonna travel, they gonna go to France, all right? They're not gonna touch Jamaica. Um, Again, that's a long topic now, and it's already 8:30. So let me start on this video.
virgin, I want you to understand that the perfect moment will never come. If that's what you're waiting on, it ain't gonna happen. You gotta go out there and make yourself somebody that women want to sleep with. If you are a virgin, in this day and age, it's actually to your detriment. Women are sleeping around. Women are dating 3, 4, 5 dudes. If she finds out you are a virgin and she's in her phase, riding the carousel phase, you're probably gonna be a guy that women overlook. You gotta stop waiting for the perfect moment. If you are still...
I agree. I agree. Now, from my perspective, as a man going on 40, right? So take that in the account too. What I'm going to say. From my perspective, as a man going on 40, and what I see from guys now, and where technology's headed, what I see is that I think due to how technology took off and everybody's on social media and the internet, and then on top of that, if you go somewhere, food's prepared, everything, things are becoming done. Things are being done quicker and faster, right? At a far faster rate than they've ever been, in the history of mankind, right? So what I see from younger guys, right? They're attacking the dating market like women attack the dating market, right? See, it's a woman's job to sit down and wait for the world to come to her, right? Maybe reach out here or there, but it's her duty to hide behind something. Women are cowardly, right? The ancient Greeks documented women as being fat and cowardly, right? It's always been known. It's no secret. But the thing is, I think men have lost that edge to go out there and keep trying, right? And rightfully so. Rightfully so, 'cause especially in the West, if a woman doesn't like you, she could turn a whole room against you just because everybody wants to protect cunt, right? So I'm not faulting the men for being afraid, right? I've always said I think the younger men nowadays have it far harder than I had it, right? And I always admit I think that the younger guys out there now have a harder time than I did because we didn't have the online dating and all this shit, right? But I think what's hurting men is the technology and almost kind of like make like one like throw a few shots. Okay, here's the thing. I was gonna say one thing but that sounds like I'm going down another path. Let me start by saying this: men nowadays have a much harder time than I had, right? There's no comparison. There's no comparison. I don't think there's any comparison. I think the younger generations. I'm 37. The younger generations. I say if you're 30 or younger, or anybody nowadays, right? I think times now are just harder, right? In every way except for getting information, like educational information or shit information, right? I think life and times now are harder now than they've ever been. And when you say something like dating, oh yeah, OnlyFans was like I think that was the final straw that just killed it, because OnlyFans made it clear to women that what you mean men will pay me money just to look at me, even though there's millions of naked bitches on Pornhub right now. You mean to tell me there's men out there who will happily send me money just to look at naked pictures of me, right? Right? Like, so women's egos have gone completely through the roof. They were always high to begin with, but they've just gone completely mad at this point. And then on top of that, like nowadays, a man has to shoot his shot potentially, depending on where he is and what kind of luck streak he's on, whatever. A man has to shoot his shot 10 times harder than I ever had to do when I was younger, right? And I'm not trying to act like I had a lot of girlfriends when I was 18, from high school to 30, because I didn't. I probably had more of a wild experience than most, but I still wasn't, I wasn't the some Mac Daddy or something like that. I wasn't anything like that. But men nowadays, from Instagram to from social media to if you do go out, now a woman's she's got a boyfriend, you scared she got a boyfriend and all this shit. The men nowadays have to go 10 times as hard than I ever had to. Right? Than I ever had to. And I can easily admit that. I can humbly admit that. Now, what I could tell men, but okay, what I could now back to the men kind of sitting up and waiting for things to happen. I think that's okay. I agree, but I think that statement was a little rushed, and it's a Facebook or YouTube reel, so I expect it to be rushed. But um, what men have to understand is, look, out of 100 tries, you're gonna fail miserably 95% of the time, unless you've already become something or people know your family name. You as an individual man, you are going to fail more than you succeed, right? And as a man, you do not have the right to sit up, just take a bath and wait for bitches to come to you. See, bitches have by far an easier life in the beginning, right? Bitches, and overall, you can say overall their lives are easier because essentially their nature is just to wait for men to build shit so they can live off of it. But that's a whole nother conversation. As a man, you don't have that right. So as a man, you have to keep banging your head against the wall and trying. But here's the thing: as a man, if you can get that 5% to work, now you build off of that and you grow, right? That's how it works. Like men start with nothing, and they get and they got to work with 5% of what they can actually get, they can actually use, or they can manipulate or whatever, and grow with that. Right? We have to get that and work with it. Whereas, see, once a woman figures out she's cute, she's born into having everything, right? And then a woman's job is she sits back and goes, "Oh, what do I want to talk to them or do I want to talk to them? I don't know. I think I'm too good for them." Whereas a man, you don't get that, right? So as a man, like it's not always going to feel good, but you have to fall in love with the struggle, right? You have to fall in love with the struggle and with the fight, right? And it's not always going to feel good. It's going to suck a lot of times, but that's how it is. Historically, for most of history, after lifespan significantly rose, it became far more clear, right? Once the average lifespan shot up, then that's when a lot of these issues started to arise, where women were holding out for the older man because once men start living past the age of 35 on average, kind of thing, right? Women could see a lot more of what was going on, and the younger guys always struggle, or poor guys struggle. But as a man, you have to and this is easier said than done, but and you're going to fall in moments where it's still going to happen, but you can't take it personal. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen, but you can't take it so personal. And I think this is where like the surge in mental health is like taken off. Well, I have a few personal opinions on why, but in this context, why mental health is taken off, because now it gives people a name to blame something for their problem, right? And among men, now they get to say, "Oh, I'm depressed, or I'm bipolar, or I'm autistic, or whatever," to kind of like ease the pain. Oh, that's why. Like, no, bro, that's not why. Being autistic, depressed, having mental what it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is luck and the ability to keep on trying as a man. All right, because look, bitches don't care about any of that shit, right? Just don't care, right? Men, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. For every woman who looked at a man and said "ill" and laughed at him, roasting, whatever, right? For every woman who said that to a man, right? If that man went out there and the next woman he talked to, she was completely down, and now he's walking with her, now the woman is like, "Oh, well, he must be desirable now." Right? See, bitches are stupid, man. They don't know anything. Men are talking themselves into thinking that women are intelligent and knowledge. They're not intelligent. They just follow whatever they think other bitches are doing. They don't know. For every man, right? I remember this. I was dating a girl before my son's mother now, right? And I remember I was walking with her. We was walking down Prague, or down the street, and she comes up to me. She goes, "Ooh, Wendell, yeah, he tried to talk to me like 2 weeks ago." And he was just like some regular dude. Yeah, he's like a regular waiter dude, some shit like that. And he tried, he tried shooting a shot with her, right? Now, to a dude who's too caught up in social status, he would have took that as, oh well, I guess I figured you out. But no, like I know what it is, man. All that dude had to do is go out to another bitch, and she gave him some, some entertainment, and start walking around and he start walking around with her, and then the girl, I wish she be wanting to suck his dick now, right? So bitches don't know what to like, they just like whatever they think other women like. They don't know, right? What's up, Mike? Yeah. So like, so what I'm trying to say about, yeah, they don't take it personal, like, because women are not women do not do things on an independent, intelligent level. Everything they do is based on what they think another woman likes, or she want to do like you before, or some shit. She doesn't know. A woman does not know how to genuinely like something. She doesn't know, right? But then the thing is, when guys go out there and shoot their shot, and then and they get rejected or whatever the fuck, it goes to left on real. Like, yeah, it hurts. I'm not gonna say it doesn't hurt, but they take it on this whole next level of like, it was me. Like, no, like, man, like, bitches are dumb. Bitches are stupid, man. They don't know. They don't know anything. They just follow whatever they think other people like and want. Women do not know when they look cute. They don't know. They don't know. Was this the number of sexless men has tripled. Let's watch this.
Speaking of which, I got sent this thread by Rob Henderson earlier on, which is really interesting. Could the matching imbalance on Tinder and other dating apps be a factor in the rise of the incel movement and young men reporting low sexual activity? So there's a graph here that says the young men, share of men and women between the ages of 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the past year. And that has gone up from 10% to 30% for men since around about 2010 to 2020 to now, right? So over the last decade, the number of men.
Yeah, okay. I like that he pulled this up. Let me make sure I'm not like getting shut down, because he probably has a lot of watchers. He has a million something, almost 2 million subscribers. So I'll make sure I'm not getting shut. Yeah. So let's look at this. Young men driving the decline. This is from the Washington Post. So I'm going to take his word for it. Share of men and women between ages 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the past year. So, right when Tinder was introduced, like I said, when online dating started, like online dating was for the really undesirable people, right? And then slowly it kind of like turned into like, cute bitches started using it, and then it just turned into like taking over everything, right? So this says, after Tinder was introduced, it slowly took a time, because see, back then you could back in those times you could just go to a bar or to a club and go home with a woman you just met, kind of thing, right? She get to hold your hand and all this shit. It could happen. Nowadays, it doesn't really happen like that. At least anything I've seen. I mean, okay, unless you're just a really outgoing dude kind of thing. Everybody's in online dating now. At least for my last period in the U.S. So, like, yeah, so right around 2008, when it started to take off, people got used to it, and then all of a sudden, men just started to fucking suffer, right? They just started to suffer like crazy. And this is up to 2008, so it's even worse now.
And reporting no sex in the last year has tripled. And the line on the graph has got where Tinder's introduced, and it is exactly when men, where that inflection for men beginning to go from the 10% to the 20 to 28%. Women also actually stay flat for a little while, but have increased, which is also very interesting. Wealth in Tinder is not distributed equally. Attractive guys have more wealth in the Tinder economy. They get more likes than unattractive guys. That's the bottom 80% of men, bottom 20% of women, top 80% of women, top 20% of men thing, which a lot of people are familiar with. There's a thing called a Gini coefficient, or a Gini coefficient, which works out how much inefficiency there is within a system. So it's used to look at economies within countries. And the lower that the number is, the more equality there is within wealth distribution. So if modern dating apps were a country, it would be one of the most unequal in the world. The Tinder economy has a higher Gini coefficient than 95.1% of the countries in the world. It's just below South Africa. It's above Venezuela.
In disparity of wealth.
It's above Venezuela and just below South Africa. That's where it sits. According to open source data, a man of average attractiveness can only be expected to be liked by slightly less than 1% of females, 0.87% on Tinder. This equates to 1 like for every 115 females, and men in the bottom 10% see just 1 match per week at most. Ultimately, most women only swipe on a handful of men per day, while men are more freewheeling with their swipes. So, yeah, females pass on 95% and like on 5, and men are basically 50-50 left and right. It's just...
We had talked about Tinder before, and one thing that I think is actually really interesting was before Tinder, there were websites like eHarmony.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Match.com. Plenty of fish.
And the way that we looked at it, you know, the guys in my friend group, the people my age, we looked at it as like, oh, what a weird fucking idea.
Yeah.
Online dating, super weird. You're weird. Like it was just kind of like, what the hell? And then here's Tinder, this fun little swipey thing. It's kind of about hookups. It's a meme, right? It's like a meta commentary. It's just like, this is hilarious. We're swiping. It's hilarious. We match. Oh, what's up? Like, and then almost immediately after that, online dating becomes something serious. It becomes something like, well, I haven't gotten any dates. Let me go online. There's really not much.
Yeah. And see, back before online dating, like okay. And I told my girl this. Like, look, the only time women act right is when her self-esteem's been beaten down. Right. Well, the only time women act right is when she's at best second in the room. Right. That's the only time she's going to act right and end up doing anything righteous on a whole. Right. That's the only time women will, on a whole, do anything relatively righteous for humanity in any kind of way. You know, become a decent human is once somebody's punched her in the fucking face 15 times. Right. So, because like I told her, she was cooking something. I was talking to her. I was telling her. If I lost my train of thought, what was it? So I'm trying to remember the exact conversation. Now I try to remember what she was cooking at the same time. But fuck, I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Was it women were like they're just not going to act right unless shit's unless that's what it was. This is what I told her. I said, the only time a woman's going to respect a nice guy is if she got her feelings hurt bad just before it. The only time women is going to respect genuine decency is if the world punched her in the fucking face and left her to fucking bleed in the street. Then she'll know how to act nice to people who are nice to her and want to do, you know, nice, good shit. That's the only time. That's the only time women will be nice and do righteously good shit in the world. Is if somebody is it either the world physically or mentally fucking walloped her upside the fucking head. That's it. Outside of that, you have to treat them like shit, right? In some way, you have to sprinkle on treating them like shit or something. Actually, let me show you. I shouldn't even do this, but I got a message from one of my other client. She sent me this picture today, this morning. Let me see if I could cover this up. Oh, fuck. I hope I don't accidentally show her name. She sent me this picture of her tits, like, bruised up, saying, hey, so I met the guy I told you about. That was the best. She underneath the picture, it says that was the best date. Let me see if I could get it so you guys can see it. That was the best date I had in years. And I laughed. I laughed at it because her tits are like all bruised up in the picture. He like bruised her tits up in the picture. And she said that was the best date I had in years. Right? like women love it, dude. They love to be treated like shit. Like they love it. Like they love to be hurt. Like all that shit, dude. They love it. The only time a woman genuinely, the only time a woman genuinely has respect for a man is if she feels like the man can like let loose on her and be ridiculous to her, right? But it's about how he does it. Like if he lets loose, like still looking for emotional responses out of her, then then he's a fucking coward pussy. But like if he like lets loose on her in a way where he doesn't care and then he just keeps going with his life, now she's in love, right? Because now she can chase after something. But yeah, back to what you were saying about the online dating shit. Yeah, man. Like when it started, it was like because I'm 37. I don't know how old he is, but I'm 37. And when online dating started, we seen it more of a thing like, oh, I'm not gonna stoop to that level to do online dating. I can still go out here in the world, right? And since that theory still held up, like with the first hooker I knew, right? Well, she didn't start out as a hooker, but she ended up becoming a hooker. She didn't know that she could have been far more cunty and got away with things in life. So she was just like sucking dick and doing. She would do everything for $10, right? Because she didn't know, right? But when this online dating shit happened, and like there was always a chump, there was always a simp somewhere who would give her his whole paycheck. I remember one guy because he was in the army. We talked about the military for a while. I met him. He would just give her his old checks and like just fucked up. There was always one or two of those guys for every woman, but like every woman always kind of knew that wouldn't last. So like she had to like be of some type of decency in the world, to try to get something out of men kind of thing. Because back then it was still highly believed that a woman had to be in a relationship to amount to anything, right? To amount to anything. Whereas after OnlyFans took off, well, now bitches can take pictures of their feet and make $15,000 a month, right? So it shifted the whole dating aspect of what women think they need to put up with and what they don't kind of thing. And again, the worst thing you can do is leave women in control of anything. Now, I told my girl this. If you leave a woman in control of anything, it's going to be destroyed. Period. Okay, one thing is for certain. There's nothing positive that's going to come out of it, right? In terms of humanity, you're not going to have anything positive come out of women running anything. It's always going to be is everybody's going to get more mad. It's same thing when you go to work for one. If you're living with one and she's running a household, whatever, it doesn't matter. If she takes too much control, it's going to have the same ending every time. And that ending is going to be everybody's going to be mad, confused. Nobody's going to know where anything is. Everything's going to be up in the air. There's going to be so many fake emotions and all this shit, and nothing's going to get done. And you're going to be in the same position that woman is going to be in the same position 10 years from now on a mental developmental level. On a mentally developed level, she's going to be in the same boat, but because she's not, everything is going to be out of order. Nobody's going to be able to grow at all, right? This is how it is.
Resisting to whether it's cool or not. You can resist whether you want to do it, or whether it's legit or not, or if the masses are doing it. But if someone says, "Hey, I'm on Hinge," or "I'm on Tinder," they're not going to get made fun of. Because it's just the masses are doing that. Whereas eHarmony and Match.com, like if you had done that at the time where they were very prevalent for, I think, older generations.
Yeah, as older people.
It was definitely seen as a weird thing.
That's the same as anything, though, right? There's adoption curves happen slowly.
But it wasn't like eHarmony. It wasn't like we all jumped on eHarmony.
No.
We all jumped on the hookup app that
there was
required
something
zero
about Tinder
effort.
that made this.
The location services was, I think, the thing. You are in the same location as that person. Here's a picture of them.
Yeah, that's another part, because I think those eHarmony sites, like they were like just the whole world. So like there was no real like, at least that I know of. I don't think you could really separate it. Like Tinder is set up for like your location type of thing, but like those eHarmonies and what I remember, Match.com, shit like that. It was like you were just thrown this pool of people from all over the world, and you had no idea where. Shit. Tinder just made it simple.
You want with it, rather than this kind of weird, almost like MySpacey type of AOL vibe to it, which you would get from eHarmony and Match.com.
Yeah.
Maybe on the Tinder thing, you get this handheld, location services, this app on your device. That
Good user experience,
separates it.
less
Yes.
boomery. Well, why do you think it would be that the introduction of Tinder would increase the number of men reporting no sex? Do you think it's just women? Do you think that what this guy's implying in the thread is because of this high inequality that women are sort of wistfully chasing after the 8 out of 10s and above for guys, and they're not giving any attention to the dudes at the bottom? Because you would have presumed, maybe, if you hadn't been able to work out what was actually going to go on, everyone's talking to everyone more. That should facilitate more casual sex for everybody overall. But what it seems has happened is the gains have been...
No, okay, yeah. So yeah, that would have been okay. Like for example, I will use like Prague as an example, right? Like a place like Prague where you can still socially go. Okay, where you could still socially go out and genuinely confront each other for whatever you want. That would have worked. But in a place like online dating, where everything's done just over text messaging. First off, women don't respect text messages, right? They don't unless she's like super into you. Women do not respect text messaging. At least from my generation, text messaging was for cowards who were too afraid to speak on the phone, right? Or walk up to a woman. So you would text her all goddamn day, right? That's what texting was when I was coming up. Now maybe it's changed. I'll admit that it could have changed because times change. But texting, unless the woman is really into you, texting is like some old cowardly secondary shit, right? So since online dating is just texting, right? That adds more to the theory of, okay, women, they're just going to go after the top 2% of men, because by that point, from a woman's perspective, like women want to be approached and be dominated, right? So if you stripped out technology again, women would go back to fucking more dudes because more dudes would just approach them, right? And that's part of the turn on with a woman, is that a guy came over there and picked her out, right? But with this whole online shit, everybody's hiding behind text messages all goddamn day, right? That's going to add more to the theory of, yeah, she's only going to pick, 1 out of every 1,000 men, right? And she's got to be real into that dude for whatever reason, right? Not just because she just likes him, but because she thinks somebody else might like him or some shit like that, right? So she's only going to go, by the time it's in text messaging, you as a man, you're completely starting off on the wrong foot. Completely. Now you can still get lucky here or there, don't get me wrong, but you're to a woman, you're on the wrong foot, starting off completely bad. This is why. Oh yeah, Bumble. Yeah, Bumble's a fucking like women live in this a complete false sense of reality, and it's really shocking at how dumb they are. Like when you really, really thoroughly speak to them, like it's shocking at how stupid they are. Yana Hawking, yeah. I know for a fact those apps that if you have a certain feature that are on, or if your picture doesn't look good, or if you're wearing something wrong, their algorithm will bury you. Where I didn't know that. I'm sure probably. I wouldn't be surprised. They try to get you to pay for it to be seen or something like that. Nowadays, oh yeah, I'm totally. That's completely a reality. Those apps purposely put men who come off as high value in front of those women. This is why relationship coaches advise you to have your best looking picture on Instagram. Yeah. And it's just that thing, man. It's the internet. See, women historically thrive in being cowardly, right? When a woman is cowardly and pathetic, that's when she's at her best as a woman, right? That is when she is at her best. When she can have somebody to come into the room and protect her. When she's the weakest one and she needs moral support, emotional support. All that is when woman thrives. And online dating is a form of being pathetic, in my opinion. And that's where she's going to thrive. She can be a coward, right? She could be a woman. Woman could be a complete coward in online dating. She could be the most pickiest, cowardly cunt, and still, and she'll thrive, right? Whereas men don't thrive in being cowardly. Men thrive in going out there and trying shit, fighting against the world day in and day out. That's when men see. That's how you become. I told my girl, you don't become a man until you get your fucking heart stomped on, like Richard Pryor said. Like, that's how you graduate from a boy to a man's, when you get your heart stomped on. See, women, they graduate to be woman just because they just stay alive. They just become woman. There's no additional work outside of just figure out how to take a bath, maybe, put a little bit of makeup on or some shit like that, or go sit in a fucking hair salon for 2 hours. And that's what makes her woman, right? And after she becomes woman, men will literally group together on boats and ride a boat for 30 days just to go look at another bitch because her face looks a little different, right? Women thrive in being cowards. There's nothing courageous about them at all, right? There's nothing courageous about being a woman, because here's the thing, because she can still be called. A woman can still be suitable. A woman can still be called suitable by the vast majority of humans just because she literally just aged and stood there. She is suitable for marriage now, right? Whereas men has never got the same options. You are a workhorse. As a man, if you just age and stand there, you're a good potential workhorse. And that's if you're, muscular and all that shit like that. You're a workhorse. But after that, now you got to work at earning, proving yourself to the world that you can take care of some shit, right? See, historically speaking, nobody's ever questioned a woman for that. As a woman, she literally just had to keep aging and then just stand there. And she's automatically suitable for marriage because she can fuck. That's literally what makes a woman is that she's aged a bit and she can fuck, right? But men, you don't get that. You don't get that. You have to prove, and a lot of times you got to fight day in and day out to prove. Here's the thing. For every woman sitting up in a college in a university right now who's claiming she's got it just as hard as a man out, see, every one of those women, if they really wanted to, any one of those women sitting up in a university thinking that their life is hard because they struggling and because they have to struggle because they taking 3 classes this term and whew, I'm just exhausted. Those are fucking balloons again. I don't know why that comes up, right? But like, yeah, and they got to see every single woman who's complaining about life like that, right? If they all of them know in the back of their mind, all they got to do is say, fuck it, start sucking a bunch of cocks, and her life will be taken care of. Right? As a woman. Just because she's a woman and she's fucking. Right? See, now a man who's sitting up at university for mechanical engineering or whatever, he can't do that. He can't just be like, oh, fuck it, I guess I'll just start shaking my ass on Instagram now and wait for men to come pay for my pussy. A man can't do that. Right? See, as a man, you have to prove yourself day in and day out. Oh, because that's what you're saying. Because I brought up the topic last week. I was talking about Jennifer Lawrence and what makes a girl pretty and what makes a girl fuckable, right? And the difference. Because I brought up like Thor versus like Jennifer Lawrence, or like, I don't know, let's just say like a whatever your pretty actress is, right? Okay. The difference, she was in the kitchen, and I told like so the difference in being fuckable and being like a celebrity, like let's just use Jennifer Lawrence for example, right? Jennifer Lawrence is not conventionally beautiful, but Jennifer Lawrence, okay, 20 years ago, Jennifer Lawrence would walk in a room and nobody would talk about it, but everybody wanted to fuck Jennifer Lawrence, right? 20 years ago, that's what she was, right? Because I'm 30, back in high school, a girl like Jennifer Lawrence, she was a girl that nobody really spoke about out loud, But everybody, like, if you got in like deeper circles, we'd all say, yeah, I fucked the shit out of Jennifer Lawrence. Like, yeah. That's what I mean that type of shit, right? Right. But she would not be like the prom queen and no shit like that, right? She wasn't pretty enough back in those days. She wasn't conventionally pretty. Well, she's still not now, right? But the difference, okay. So fast forward to now, right? I was telling my girl that the difference between being fuckable as a man and being fuckable as a woman, right? Okay, the difference in being fuckable as a woman means that, okay, let's say, because the world pretty much forgot about Jennifer Lawrence over the last few years, right? But the thing is, as long as she doesn't just get fat, Jennifer Lawrence can just throw on a tight dress and heel and suck the same dicks that she was sucking while she was popular, rich, and famous. Right, and even if she lost all her movie roles and everything like that, she could still suck on the same dicks. Right, now on the flip side, let's take Thor. Right, let's say Thor fucked around, Chris Hemsworth fucked around and fell off. Right, and let's say he held onto the same body shape. See, he can't fuck the same pussies that he was fucking when he was Thor. Right, them bitches don't want him no more. Right. He can't go out there and fuck the same bitches he was fucking when he was Thor. Now, he still wouldn't be a bad looking dude. He still have a lot of matches on Tinder, shit like that. But he could not go out there and do where Jennifer Lawrence could. Whoever, Dua Lipa, whoever you want. As long as they don't get fat and old, all they got to do is throw on a tight dress and some heels, and those bitches can still go out there and suck the same dicks that they was sucking when they was at the height of their game. In the workforce, in the social status workforce, shit like that. Whereas Chris Hemsworth could very rarely could still do that. Right? Very rarely. Angelina Jolie is a perfect example how when her career kept going up, the dick she was sucking kept going up throughout her whole career. As her career went up, the developed man whose dick she was sucking just kept going up until she fucked around and hit Brad Pitt, and that was it. She can't go no more higher than Brad Pitt. It's done. She been single ever since. That's how it works, right? Jennifer Lawrence is the girl that peaked in high school and got fucked by the football team. But nah, okay. I don't say anything like that. But I'll say this. She Jennifer. Okay, and okay. So let's talk about the Jennifer Lawrence scenario, right? Because I did want to talk about that. So the Jennifer Lawrence scenario, a lot of women are in this boat nowadays, right? See, before the days of OnlyFans, Tinder was like, it was kind of getting there, but OnlyFans, I think OnlyFans and porn really shot it up to a next level, right? Because 20 years ago, let's do this. Let's look up. Uh-oh. Am I still there? I just accidentally logged out. Let's do this. I hope I'm still on, because I just logged out on accident. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, so on. Okay, yeah. Let's do this. Maybe it'll show up. Okay, yeah. So let's use like an Amy Adams, right? Which I like Amy Adams, right? But I know reality, right? Let's use like an Amy. Again, I like Amy Adams because I just like pale white bitches, right? It's just me. But I see reality, right? Amy Adams is not like the most beautiful woman on earth, right? And this is a fairly good picture of her, right? Or let's say even a girl like this. Let's use a girl like this, right? See, 20 years ago, this girl, a girl who looked like this would feel like you were doing her a favor by talking to her. 20 years ago, right? Because this was before the days of OnlyFans and Tinder hyping their egos up, right? 20 years ago, a girl like her, unless she was in a good social circle, she would have thought like you would have been doing her a favor. Or let's see a girl like this, like she could not afford to be mean to a guy who tried to approach her 20 years ago, right? Because again, this is before the days of online dating, OnlyFans. See, nowadays this bitch can go on Pornhub and deep throat a telephone pole and have 10,000 people subscribing to her OnlyFans overnight because the way she deep throated the telephone pole. She just shoved the fucking telephone pole down her throat and gagged on it, and she would get fucking OnlyFans recognition real fast, right? She can, but 10, 20 years ago, didn't exist. So like the women didn't know, like see these these types of women, see they didn't know, they weren't aware that they could be cunty yet, right? Because that social awareness hadn't hit them. Now I'm not saying they were all like super duper nice and super duper easy, but back then the game has changed a lot, right? So okay, so let's say let's use this group. Now this group, they're doused in makeup, but let's go ahead and look. Okay, so okay, a Kim Kardashian bitch was a Kim, because she was in a Fall Out Boy video, and I showed my girl because I really like Fall Out Boy. I like Fall Out Boy's lyrics and I like their music, right? And I showed, I think she was in This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race, and she was in there so fast you would have missed her, right? I think it was This Ain't a Scene. It was one of those videos Kim Kardashian was in long before she was Kim Kardashian. She was just video hoe extra, right? And on top of that, Fall Out Boy wasn't like the biggest at the time, so that tells you where she fit in back then, right? Kim Kardashian came out at a time where, like I said, Scarlett Johansson, like back in those years, she was the kind of dirty looking girl that the prettier white bitches, they just like disregarded her as nothing unless Kim Kardashian tried to act super white. They just kicked her out the group immediately, kind of thing. She was disregarded, so she never really had a home among pretty girls, so she was always alone. A girl like that back 20 years ago was far easier to hook up with, right? Because see, her self-esteem, because back then you had to be like, which I don't find her that, I never found her that attractive. I never found Kelly Bundy. I never found her very attractive as Kelly Bundy. I mean, she's a pretty girl, but it just does very little for me, right? But okay, but a Kelly Bundy would have kicked Kim Kardashian out that attractive woman group, quick. She would have kicked her out. So like let's say like number one and number 6 would have kicked out Kim Kardashian and them other brown bitches real fast, unless them brown bitches had to start hi, hi, then they would have let them in. But if they weren't like, well, Suzanne, if they weren't doing that, them brown bitches was kicked out quick. See, but since times change, right? Like I said, times change. Women on a whole have seen what men will do for women if they're just skinny. So I think that kind of like blended all that shit together. So I think they could mesh a bit easier, right? Or like a little Ariana Grande. Oh, they would have kicked her little brown ass up out of there. I think she's Italian, actually, Ariana Grande. But oh yeah. But like a six. See, nowadays, a 6 is treated like fucking royalty, right? Well, Amy Schumer. I remember I used to listen to Amy Schumer years ago, and Amy Schumer came out in that time period where she was on a podcast or something where she mentioned how she said she was the girl that every guy wants to fuck, but like every guy thinks that they're the only guy who wants to fuck her because nobody would talk. She came out at a time where she was just like, she wasn't fat. She had a good figure on her. She has long hair, so yeah, you'd fuck her, right? Back then it was that thing, but it wasn't like nowadays. If Amy Schumer opens a Tinder, she's gonna have tons of matches. So her ego is gonna go through the fucking roof, dude. Like, to where 6s have just gotten ridiculous. I mean, I would give Amy Schumer. It's because it's her swagger and how she talks, but she's also gotten a bit older too. I mean, and it's kind of shitty for me to talk about her like this, but yeah, like I would say right there, I gave her a solid 6.5, something like that, right? But again, 20 years ago, that 6.5 would have been a whole lot easier to talk to. Nowadays, she can open up her Tinder and have 30 options just because she's a woman and she's not horrifically hideous. I dated an Italian girl and she looked like some of them. Yeah. All girls try to copy Kim Kardashian look. Oh yeah. 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 When Kim Kardashian, yeah. Kim Kardashian was about the last one who I think even made the cut to be famous for being pretty anymore, because all that happened is like you can go on Pornhub or whatever the fuck and just find like, girls who really probably aren't even that great looking in the face, but they just have a nice body and they're fucking on camera kind of thing. Like that'll just put her up to fuckable levels now. So let's use this. Okay, let's use this, right? 20 years ago, 20 years ago, unless you just have a specific thing for like one of these kind of women, 20 years ago, all these women would have been in the same boat of being roughly like, let's say like, I say on a best day, 7.5. Years ago, you would, I'd say most people would say 7.5. She'd be always be treated like shit for real. She'd have to fake be nice. She may have to even approach some guys from time to time, But nowadays, with the internet, those women, they don't have to do anything now. They're just the shit. I think it's the first time someone gave Amy. Yeah, I would give Amy Schumer higher. The reason why I would give Amy Schumer higher than a 5 is because at least she does have. Okay, her body, at least the last time I've seen it, didn't look bad, and she has some type of swagger and charisma. But like her face is definitely like, what's it called, like a butterface kind of thing. It's definitely in that territory, and it's fucked up to say that shit. I know. But women tear apart men far harder in their own little personal talks, right? And then when they think men don't know kind of shit. So like that's why I don't really feel too bad about talking about women like that, because I know how women talk about men, and it's far worse. But no, I would boost her on up to about a 6 on her best day, about a 7, because of her swagger and shit, and her body's in last time I seen it, it's in good shape. But yeah, back in those, like Scarlett Johansson was another one, man. Scarlett Johansson was another one who, like nowadays, people see her older pictures and think she's beautiful. But when she came out, she was one of those like little dirty girls. Like she probably would have been friends with Kim Kardashian, type of thing. In that school kind of thing. Like they would have been friends because Scarlett Johansson just had that kind of dirty, kind of weird look that, like, again, nobody would have been ranting or raving about her, but like everybody would have known, like, yeah, like I really want to fuck her kind of thing. We would have just been talking about it, like this type of shit. Like, yeah, you see that bitch? Yeah, I want to fuck the shit out of it. Yeah, oh my, you too? And we wouldn't even know. Like, I mean, like we wouldn't know that we both wanted to fuck Scarlett Johansson. But nowadays, the internet's just made it so clear that now women know. So now their egos are just through the fucking roof. Just absolutely just through the roof. Now, I do think that when you get to like richer leagues of people who are known to be popular, I think those numbers are still there. Like Tom Likas, he was talking about women that he liked, and I think once you get to like above 6 figures, and guys are still outgoing and shit like that, now they still hold on to those values that we had like 20 years ago. I think in that population, those values are still there on a massive level, for a decent percentage of them, kind of thing. Like they're so like, yeah, like you got to be 110 pounds. If you're anything heavier than that, I don't want you, kind of thing. See, that's what it used to be like 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Scarlett Johansson was getting chubby 20 years ago, right? Scarlett Johansson was Kim Kardashian. Oh, the big butt thing wasn't a thing. Back then, it was how skinny can you be, right? And skinny and maybe have big boobs. I got another topic I want to touch on. Not literally, because this is alarming to me, right? This girl. What's alarming to me is And I told my girl, I said, hey, how old do you think that girl Jenna Ortega is? As I asked her, she was in the kitchen. I was laying on the bed. I said, hey, how old do you? Because I never really looked at Jenna Ortega for real, right? I heard she did I heard she had did some Wednesday shit or something, but I never watched. I don't know what it is, but her face is just on everything now, right? So I said, how old do you think Jenna Ortega is? Right? And she goes, oh yeah, she looks like she's 15, but she's like 22 or some shit like that. I said, yeah, like this bitch looks like a dressed up middle schooler. Right? I would have thought this bitch was in middle school. You know what I mean? Like she just got to go choose which type of milk she want to drink for school. Like she looks like she's a fucking child. Like Jenna Ortega being dressed up like this is pedophilia, in my opinion. Ariana Grande was close, and I will still give Ariana Grande that pedophilia. Jenna Ortega is pedophilia. Is I say she's closer to pedophilia because this girl looks like a dressed up 13-year-old 12-year-old. And I remember because I told her, I said, yeah, like this shit is like when I see her, I do not like I see a child. I do not want I don't want to have sex with her. I see a child. This looks like a little girl. And she's like 22. Yeah, this is the Wednesday shit. Her face is on everything now. She's a good actress though. I seen her on Saturday Night Live, and I thought she did an excellent job on Saturday Night Live. I think she's a good actor, a pretty good actress, but she just her being in this like sexy that's crossing the lines of pedophilia to me. She doesn't look like an adult at all. She was like she drinks strawberry milk and a cheeseburger for lunch. Yeah, she's yeah, like she looks 15. I was in some Facebook group because they would draw like comic books and like comic book characters and shit, and then they started posting like Jenna Ortega level like girls in swimsuits and shit, but they were like cartoons, and this shit was like just fucked up, dude. Like I had no idea how many motherfuckers out there are really on like that type of shit. I had no idea. Let's do 6 out of 10. Let's do 6 out of 10. It's the same bitches. I'm trying to find a good one. Yo, thanks, Anon. Give me a minute to read that. I'm trying to look up. Looks like it's all the same bitches. Well, I'm trying to look for a certain type, and I can't find it. I would even say Gal Gadot really kind of fits that even though I think she's kind of cute, but I would say she Gal Gadot fits that kind of weirdo looking woman 20 years ago. She would have been that weirdo looking kind of one. Even I think she's cute, but she really, if it wasn't for the makeup job to make her look better like that, like she's really that kind of weirdo. Like 20 years ago, she would have never been. 20 years ago, like Anna de Armas, 20 years ago, she would have never been popular either. Like, because women found out that men can like anything. Let's say like she's getting older now. But like this, like Miranda Kerr was like that, almost like that Cameron Diaz, conventionally attractive woman kind of thing. And like, see, like this woman would always be like the prom queen, some shit like that, that conventional look kind of thing, right? Like the a king of England might marry her, or you know what I mean. Bill Gates' son might marry her. Somebody like she ain't fucking with nobody who's just like regular type shit, right? Like she was in that. Like I said, the rich elites kind of hold on to that mentality. Oh, this is her modeling. But yeah, 20 years ago, Miranda Kerr would have kicked Kim Kardashian out the room. I say Gal Gadot. She would have kicked Gal Gadot out the room 20 years ago. If Gal Gadot would have acted right, she could have stayed in the room. Let's just say that. Like, if Anna de Armas had acted right, Miranda Kerr would have let her stay in the room, type of shit. But Anna de Armas would have had to been her secretary or some shit like that. Like she ain't letting her just chill out and they talk about shit. Oh, I know a good one. What's that show? With the Al Bundy dude. This is it. So this girl right here. See, yeah. I'm in the middle on this girl. Cause sometimes I feel like she could have been like it depends on how she fit into to the socials. But 20 years ago, somebody would have found her like super beautiful, but 20 years ago, she would have never been put in a position of being like the pretty girl on a TV show. She would have never made that spot, right? Okay, okay. Here's the thing. I use an example. Lisa Bonet on the Cosby Show. I always liked Lisa Bonet when she was on. I always thought she was the prettiest one on there. She was my favorite one the whole time, right? As far as looks go, right? But back then, there was no way like she would have never passed as pretty. Lisa Boney. See back then she would like that's what this Haley girl. Haley is Lisa Bonet on the Cosby Show, right? 20 years ago, that shit didn't fly as like being the pretty girl. No matter how much you talk like a white girl, it didn't work 20 years ago. Like she just didn't have that look. Right. See, like a look like look like a look like this nowadays, motherfuckers would be drinking her. A motherfucker would buy her bath water if she came out looking like that now on a TV show. Motherfuckers be lining up to drink her bath water, right? And this is fucking a 40-year-old, probably a 30, 40-year-old picture. Right, so they makeup wasn't on game. I mean, the lighting and makeup wasn't on point like it is now. But I could tell by the facial structure in the hair, motherfuckers now would have been lined up to drink her bath water. And they gave her like these doo-doo, or maybe she wanted doo-doo dreads. I don't know, but that shit ain't it. But you see, if a girl had looked like that now, a motherfucker be lining up to put her on the front page of some magazines as beauty and all this shit. Like the fucking Zendaya girl. Zendaya, I don't know how you say her name. Like, I don't think the Zendaya, I don't think she's that pretty. Like, I don't think they keep putting her up as this model. I don't think she looks that good. Right? Lisa Bonet had more of that than she does. But this is what I'm saying. Like the what we call pretty and attractive has become far more opened after OnlyFans. That's the point, the overall point I'm trying to make. After OnlyFans and the internet took off and people started communicating more, everybody found out like, oh shit, you mean you want to fuck Lisa Bonet too? I want to fuck her too. Like, we didn't know that 30 years ago, right? It was no, unless you just, spoke to somebody you knew type of shit. People wasn't walking around saying, I'd fuck the shit out of Lisa Bonet on Cosby Show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people just weren't saying that out loud. But see, now after the internet, bitches found out like, oh shit, you mean men like me, and I'm getting likes for my hair on Instagram and blah, blah, blah. Well, you've better come with, and you better make at least 250,000 before you touch my pussy, because I found out that you like all types of women, not just Miranda Kerrs. You like my pussy too, don't you? You pathetic. 250,000 a year at minimum. and they'll say it with a straight face. Right? Because now they know. Right? If Lisa Bonet had known that, she'd have been a far harder actress to work with than she already was. But she didn't even know that back then. Right? But yeah, Lisa Bonet is the equivalent of her now. Right? But again, the thing is, like, what society accepts as being physically attractive has opened up to like now everybody's saying, oh yeah, it's okay to like, that funny looking bitch over there. You know what I mean? Like now we accept it. Back then it wasn't accepted on an open level. Now, oh yeah, that funny looking bitch and Catcher in the Rye. You remember that funny looking bitch in Catcher in the Rye who was in the grass? She was only there for like 2 seconds. Yeah, that bitch, the funny looking bitch with the weird nose. Y'all want to fuck the shit out of her, right? Motherfuckers weren't talking like that back then. And there was no media outlet to hear it or read it, right? Some motherfuckers didn't know. So it was tons of pretty bitches like that. Like I remember I just seen this one. Uh, let's go. Yeah, her. Well, she looks a little weird now. But like what made her attractive was like how she just kind of carried herself. But like even her, like nowadays, they would dress her up to be like fucking like she back then, I would say the way she looked was definitely more approachable, right? And you got to see how she kind of moves, and you got to see how she just moves in the movie too. How she moves definitely helps out a lot. But nowadays, she'd be a complete cunt. But in that movie, she looked like, see, that was back in the days when cute bitches were like clearly approachable kind of thing, right? They're like you didn't feel like okay, I say like 30 years ago, 30 years ago, when you seen a cute bitch, like you might have fucked around and hit a moment where you just didn't care. Like I'm going to talk to her. And it was no hesitation, none of that, right? And you just kind of felt like it was a whole different feeling. Right? It was a whole different start of a feeling, right? When you wanted to go talk to a bitch back. It's like, but nowadays it's almost like you have to fight over that whole sense of fear that's almost been put into you by social media and shit. And it's just like the whole dating economy is just in shambles, in my opinion. But a girl like her now just be a complete cunt, a complete cunty asshole. Oh, let me read the last anon. It says, "Hey D, what's your opinion on guys in the West who haven't dated and only fucked hookers and only plans on dating once he leaves the West? Not gonna lie, I fall into this box. I just don't want to bother due to the unwarranted attitude and difficulty here." Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like, okay, flat out, there's nothing wrong with you. What you plan to do, I completely agree with, honestly. Now you won't find many other people who will agree with you, and I think ultimately the reason why they won't agree with you is not because they think you're wrong, but it's because they don't have the courage to know what they like and know what they want. See, there's a lot of people who will tell you you're wrong or whatever the fuck, not because they actually think you're wrong. A lot of people will tell you you're wrong because 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 they secretly feel bad that you know what you like and you know what you want, right? And they never they either or and they either never figured it out or they were far too afraid to actually act on it, right? You know what you want and what you're after, and you know what's fucked up there. There's nothing wrong with you. I mean, will there be times of feeling like you're missing out? Of course, because it's just a social dynamic, and where you are in the country and the world, and all like so you're gonna feel some type of social isolation for sure, because you're not doing what everybody else is doing, right? So you're gonna feel that, but the number one thing is that you know what you like and you know what you're after. That's the number one thing. All right, again and again. The only reason why somebody would strictly come at you about it, especially after you just worded out just how you worded out right there. You put it up real fast. Especially after how you were. The only reason why somebody would talk down about you for saying something like this is because is not because they truly think that you're wrong or less or anything like that. The reason why people would look at you and say anything negative about that is because, like I said, it's either one, they're mad because they never figured out what they actually wanted, or two, they found out what they wanted, but they never had the courage to act on it, and now they're stuck in some fucking life that they don't want, but they're too afraid to leave because they're afraid what other people are gonna think about them. right? That's the only two. Look, you like to fuck hookers, then fuck hookers. Why not? Why? Here's the thing. What? Why? Why? Why not fuck hookers? Why not? Like for real? Like really? Okay. Now I can see if you was raping bitches, I can understand that. Like why motherfuckers be mad about that? But if okay, you met a woman who's completely down to fuck at the drop of a hat for some money and whatever it was. If you found another consenting adult to do some shit then why not? Right? Why? Why? What is so wrong about that? Right? The only thing that's wrong about it again is social. Social is hoping people don't think bad about it. Like I told my girl or anybody, like when you get into a fight you really not worried. Okay, here's the thing, I think it's the same thing like when you get into a fight, you're not really scared of getting into a fight. What you're scared about is what people are going to think about you once you're fighting. That's where your fear is at. You're scared that people are going to see you and see you fuck up or see you getting punched in the face does not hurt that bad. Where the fear is knowing that somebody else seen you get punched in the face and did you react properly and all that shit. Like that's where your fear is at. That's what hurts and where the fear is at. Getting punched in the face does not hurt as bad as most people would think, unless they got hit in like the right spot kind of thing. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's just like fucking hookers and own it. Like, okay, you have to understand, man. The majority of people you gonna meet in life, right? The vast majority of the people you're gonna meet in life are gonna find themselves weighed down by social status. Right? So far to the point where people will build entire lives, entire careers. People will literally go out there and build entire families off of being phony as fuck because they're that desperate to be accepted by other people. And as they're going in that life, they're getting more mad, more depressed, more angry, but they still got to keep up the act. So they're fake smiling and they're hooked on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, all this shit like that. Because they got to keep the act up, right? To maintain that social position. And their lives are fucking miserable. But at the end of the day, they can go, oh, well, at least I have friends or whatever the fuck, right? Like, I think it's I think that's a horrible move that people make. Now, everybody doesn't have the luck or position to work out of it. I'll admit that. But the majority of people you're going to meet are not going to be happy with their lives. The vast majority of people that you're ever going to meet will not be happy with their lives, right? And so back to the acting phony part, right? Let's say like you trying to get a job or whatever the fuck, right? So I've grown out of this clearly, but see, here's the thing. Let's say you go to a job interview, some shit like that, right, or whatever, and now here's the fucked up philosophical part of it. Most people will go into an interview or some shit trying to behave how they think the other person wants to see them behave. Right? Now, the complete reality of this, or just meeting new people in general is, see, like, here's the thing. As soon as you weigh yourself down with that pressure, right? I'm not saying you can't work your way out of it, but when you weigh yourself down with that pressure from the start, now you've got to juggle keeping that facade going, right? And you could try to like weasel your way out of it through the talk or whatever, but now you got to keep that shit going, right? Now here's a deeper part is, and I've spoke about this a long time ago, is it's useless trying to even predict what the other person wants to see because you don't even know that other person, right? Right. So, and every now and then I still catch myself with this internal battle, right? Every now and then I still catch myself with this internal battle of like trying to predict what I want what the other person wants to see, kind of thing. So I'll like try to pretend to be that, and I have to work within myself to say fuck that shit. Like just be ridiculous if you want to be ridiculous, right? Because chance like you don't know, like they may love you for being ridiculous because you being ridiculous. They may have been waiting for somebody to be the fucking anchor, to fucking pull them over, I mean, and out of their own bullshit, so they can relax a bit. Like you never know, right? It's just that thing, so like living your life to like try to live up to other people. It's just as much of a gamble as being ridiculous, in my opinion. Maybe not so. Not it depends on how you look at it, I guess, because in some contexts, it's just easier to just play the role just to get out of the situation faster. So like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it is just easier to do it. So it's not like every single case, but yeah, so I just wanted to elaborate on that on people who will look down on you for whatever you like, right? Especially if you're not hurting anybody and it's two consenting people. I don't see anything wrong with fucking hookers. I think fucking hookers are. I think fucking prostitutes are fucking great. As long as you keep a realistic, viewpoint on it, I think it's amazing. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Um, yeah, I mean, there's parts that are going to get more lonely. That could potentially get more lonely or fucked up or confused because you might fall in love with her. She might fall in love with you, which happens a lot, by the way, and people don't talk about it. The woman falls in love with the man. Um, yeah, and it's never really gonna quite be right for you. Like, was it Adam 22 dude who got mad at the guy for like spelling out what bitches did, and and he had to run out the room because yeah, it's just because he fell in love with a hooker kind of thing. Um, I'll just tell you, be careful to not fall in love with them, and I'll be or to try to give them more extra money for no reason, shit. Like my only thing I would tell you is to just be careful. But outside of that, I don't see anything wrong with it. My advice for you is just keep doing what you're doing. You got a plan, and you know what you're trying to work. You know what you're trying to get. You trying to leave the country because you know the women. Look, see the fact that you have a plan and you're doing stuff that you already want to do now, you're already leagues ahead of most people you're gonna bump into on the street. Right? You have a legitimate plan and it's working for you. You're already leagues ahead of most people you'll find out. You know how many men are walking around completely clueless about all this shit, and they're just floating around like a turd in the wind, kind of thing, like Venom, a turd that is like hovering like a turd in the wind. Like you know how many men are walking around like that? It's tons. It's tons of men.
Sort
But
of
yeah, Star Wars.
accrued to the very few super chads at the top, and then there's this big sexless underclass of men that is now 30% of men reporting no sex within the last year.
Yeah, I mean, more matches for the female would mean, why would you take the male that you're less attracted to? Right?
Yeah,
Like, why would you take the opportunity if you know you can match with more and more and more and more people? You're going to leave out a very large chunk of other people where men apparently do not have that option. So, yeah, I mean, they're just chasing after the potential match that they know is more likely going to happen. Maybe if those two people meet, like, this is also another thing. Women are, and men are now looking at their potential mate through the lens of looks. Whereas before, you might not think someone is attractive until there's some sort of action that makes them attractive.
yeah,
Whether that's someone in your class or, someone you go to the gym with or whatever, that interaction is what makes them attractive. And then you're looking at someone who, if you saw their Tinder profile or if you saw their Hinge profile, you would not have swiped. So maybe that's occurring less, potential mates. Like you just had on a guest who said that the worst quality to look for a long-term relationship is looks.
Conventional
And that is-
attractiveness, yeah.
And that is exactly what people are looking at when they get these apps.
Well, I think that this
Okay, and I'll just elaborate. Okay, that's exactly what women are looking at is looks and sometimes the information that's in the profile, but looks. All right, women are far more shallow than men. But yeah, in this look, the damage has already been done with internet dating. The damage it's already been done. Women have found an easier way to do something. And one thing's always for certain. If there's an easier way to do something, a woman will always take that route. She doesn't care about anything else. If it's an easier path, she's gonna go take that easier path. Okay, she's not gonna go put in any work, effort, none of that shit. If there's an easier path for it, she's gonna take. She is not gonna go up and initiate any conversation with men or work against the grain. None of that.
probably explains a big chunk of why relationships are now increasingly short. And this is something that people don't necessarily see. So it's easy to say there is now a global sexual marketplace. Anybody with an Instagram account or a Tinder account can basically be in the entire world's sexual marketplace, right? They can be dating somebody in Guatemala or Bali or Germany or wherever they want. And therefore, that means that people are mate switching more easily because the friction of doing that is lower, and because the number of competitors for whoever your mate is significantly higher now, and that women will lily pad from one guy to one guy, from one Chad to the next one. Now, the thing that Seth Stephens-Davidowitz said that was really interesting is that the algorithms can predict what you're going to click on unbelievably well. They will be able to predict with like insane accuracy whether you'll swipe left or right on someone. And the algorithms can do basically nothing to work out whether or not you'll have long-term happiness and whether a relationship will last long-term. So for the people that didn't see the episode, the things that are most often used as cues for whether or not someone will swipe right or left are things like height, conventional attractiveness, wealth level, and job, right? Those are some of the most common things that are used. These have basically zero correlation with whether or not a relationship is happy long-term.
Yeah. And what I want to add on that is there was that guy who wrote Homo Sapiens. He wrote a book. He had 3 books that were like the biggest one. I think it was Homo Deus is the one I'm thinking about, where he talks about technology and his opinion. Let me show you guys his book. He had like 3 of them. Yeah, because I have all 3 of these. And he talks and he throws out theories of this. Homo sapiens was a great. Well, all of them were pretty good. 20, I think it was 21. No, it was Homo Deus. That was the one I'm ready to talk about now. In Homo Deus, I have all 3 of these. In Homo Deus, he talks about how online dating will change for everything that he just stated. So he didn't go into this aspect because I think he wrote the book like 10 years ago. So he just couldn't have known, like, I think like Facebook and shit like that. I think he wrote it a while back. I'm pretty sure he wrote it a while back. But I think that the next evolution in online dating will be to use some type of algorithm that's going to match you with somebody based off your Facebook likes, your Google history, you know what I mean, shit like that, to say, okay, like you two have this much in common, kind of thing, so you can act. So and I think in the future, I think that the next evolution in online dating, like with that Yao Harris or whatever his name is, you've all Noah Harai, or I don't know how you say his name. He said it too, that the next evolution in online dating would be an AI to say, like, okay, like, look, like it's gonna siphon out all the people who actually have something in common with you, and only show you those matches, right? Instead of just showing you just this huge boat of just, attractive people versus unattractive people kind of thing. And all you see is like, oh, well, they said they like to work out and they said they like sushi, and that's like all you have to work with. The next evolution is going to be, they're going to use data harvesting Well, no, because here's the thing. If here's the thing. Now I'm thinking about that. If they were to act, if someone were to actually do that, that would mean a severe decrease in dating market apps, right? Because if everybody just found, now I'm thinking about it. If let's say if there was a dating app that pulled your Google search, your Facebook, and all this shit like that, and so for example with what was it, Cambridge Analytica. In that book, Mindfuck, he said, yeah, like if you've liked 300 pictures on Facebook, then Facebook knows you better than your own wife knows you, kind of thing, right? Um, so if they were to pull that data, right, and actually sync people up with who they would have a much higher chance of being with, well, that would actually mean a decrease in actual users in online dating because everybody's just going to find somebody to sit with for a while, right? So I think that would be a bad move in reality for a bad business move, but a great humanitarian move.
Those things were psychological stability, conscientiousness, a growth mindset, a bunch of other things, none of which can be displayed on a Tinder profile. I can't tell whether you've got a growth mindset or whether you're somebody that's psychologically
Mentally stable.
Yep, precisely. In fact, you might be able to try and signal precisely that through your looks and then have the complete opposite. You can put window dressing up as much as you want. So my point being that what people are doing now is optimizing for the wrong parameters. People are optimizing for things which are completely arbitrary when it comes to long-term relationship happiness. For girls, things like height. I think it's something like 80% of women on Hinge have their height limit set to 6 foot or above for men. That's less than 10%, I want to say, less than 10 or 15% of men in the United States are above 6 foot. And yet and height has zero predictive ability when it comes to looking at long-term relationship happiness. Imagine you saying to me, dude, I only date girls who are a size 4.5 shoe.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why? I know that this has no bearing on whether or not you're going to be happy in this relationship, but you just pick this arbitrary thing because it's become captured by the culture that girls that are size 4.5 feet.
Do you know what? I almost have a reasoning for that. This is anecdotal, but I feel as though girls hold more of an animus towards these dating apps. So that they say, look, if I'm going to get on Hinge, I'm going to get the best of the best. And if it doesn't work, no problems for me. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if I get one match, if I get 10 matches. I don't care. I'm on this thing to not get fucked over. But if I'm going to get someone, they better be tall. They better be good looking. They better be this, and this. Where maybe it's not the same approach for men. Right? I can honestly say that I've heard many, many women just say, like, it's almost like the dating app owes them for being on.
Because they resent the fact that they maybe have
They
to be on
resent the
there.
idea that they're there. Yes.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. $50 doing on here. But yeah, that is it. Fucking diets. I just think diets are funny. I mean, unless you have like a serious, unless you have a serious, like, serious issue, I think diets are just funny. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. But like, for me, it's just a waste. I'd try. Unless you have like a serious issue, then go for it. But like, if you don't have a serious, I just think diets are funny. They just want a guy that beats out their besties, man. Yeah. Yo, AD, you should come to the States and see how great dating is here. Yeah, I should end up in Florida in a few months. But I don't know how it's going to work out. The VA is going to pay for it. But I don't know. It's looking like Florida. I'll be in Tampa. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here in a minute, man. Cause I gotta pee too. That's why I'm way too behind on comments. If they made Ex Machina level sex robots, who would you design your robot after? I don't- I show my girls sex dolls because I watched some Joe Rogan podcast where they were talking about sex dolls, and I don't think I could fuck a sex doll. I don't think I told my girl like I tried with a blow up doll like when I was like 20 because and it was just there. It was like the stripper girlfriend that I had, she had it in her flat, and I ended up just like staying there, and I waited for her to come home, and it was just like in a cabinet. I seen it, so I just like blew it up real quick and tried it for like like maybe like 10 seconds just to see what it was. I just like immediately just like threw it off. Like I don't think I could have sex with a sex robot, or like I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could. Because they have sex dolls now that look pretty great. I won't lie. Like the sex dolls look great as as a woman, but I don't think I could like seriously do that. Like keep, I mean, like buy it and keep it. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I think I'd be more. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound like I'm some like super guy or something like that, but I personally just don't think I can do it. Here's the thing. I think I'd be more freaked out by it because every time I see like a little human shaped anything, like a doll or anything, like I secretly have this fear is gonna come alive. I've always had it. So like, especially after I became an adult, so like I don't keep like like anything that's like humanly shaped like out because I always feel like it's like how some people do the same thing like with dogs. Like you look at a dog and like I know I used to do it like when I was younger. I would low key kind of believe that the dog was getting ready to say something in English, like like you getting ready to say something, ain't you? You know what I mean? Like I have that same feeling for dolls. Like I feel like a doll. Now I do have some teddy bears right here, and these never bothered me for some reason. Like I've never had an issue with these in this chair over here because they're for the baby. I never had issues with those for some reason, but like if it's like a more human shape, I just can't. Like I secretly feel like it's gonna come to life and freak me out. Even though I could just probably, what I mean, just like kick the motherfucker, rip his head off, some shit like that. I'm still like it's something. I just get freaked out, so I don't keep because I love like statues and I always wanted. There's this one Batman I always wanted, even though I don't like Batman anymore. But I always wanted this. Wait, can I find it? Because Square Enix, they had this line of like a ton of different, like almost like machine. Let me see if I can find a Spider-Man one. Yeah, like they had these really dope looking like statues. Because I want the Spider-Man one and I want the Batman one. I think they had an Iron Man one too. But now so many people make statues now. It's like commonplace. But back then these things were like pretty rare when I used to want these. But now you can find everybody makes statues now. So it's like it's nowhere near as common. Yeah, this is it right here. Because the Captain America, that's the only time I like Captain America was in that Square Enix, whatever. Thought it looked pretty dope. But yeah, it's 9:51. Did Chucky? I never seen Chucky. That's the funny part. That's the funny part. I never actually watched a Chucky at all. I know nothing about Chucky outside of he's a doll. But no, it wasn't Chucky. Don't go on fresh and fit. I think AD is a little more refined than those guys who are still going to red pill rage. Yeah, yeah, I'm not on the red pill rage shit. Are you aware of the Jolly Heretic? No. Heretic child? No, I don't know what that is. We're talking indistinguishable from a real person. Wait, platypus. Maybe I missed the previous. Jen, oh, I bet it's a lot. I wonder how many Tinder accounts are fake to string guys into paying for matches. Oh, a lot. Yeah, I would automatically think it's a lot just to make guys think that there's like just endless women out there kind of thing. I'm sure there's a lot. Miami alien creatures. Was that the one where they supposedly had it on camera and they showed that? I think. So AD, I got a question. How do you get over your ego when it comes to failure? You said it had to be. You say you had to be okay with failure, but what if your ego doesn't want to take the risk? I've passed up on many chances. I passed up on many chances. Okay, here's the thing. As far as the last part, man, do whatever you can to not pass up on chances, right? Because what happens is if you start passing up on chances, you're gonna feel comfortable and start passing up on more chances, right? And then the next thing you know, you're gonna end up an old man sitting up going, I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll try it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes, dude. Like you, who you become a lot of times is based off your habits, which can work the other way around. Some people just say fuck it and just not want to try anymore. But my opinion is do whatever you can to not create that habit. Some days people just don't want to be told no. I get that. Like I go through those days too. I went through that with a pair of boots that broke actually. And I left the boots up in the closet for about a year. Well, mostly because they were like for winter, and you don't wear boots in the summertime. But one day I woke up, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take these boots to a repair man because other guys told me that the boots couldn't be fixed. I said, I'm gonna try one more time. I took the boots to this dude, this old fat dude in this like little like terribly filthy place. Like the blinds were just covered in black. Like it was horrible. But I gave him the boot, and he just ripped the boot up immediately and said, "Here," right? And fixed the boot that tons of other people said couldn't be fixed. He fixed it. I've been wearing them ever since. Right? Right. But yeah, so it's 9:55. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll leave this live stream up, and I'll leave Thursday. I'll put Thursday on Subscribe Star. Yeah, thanks everybody who tuned in, like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out.